Everybody has different words that offend them, different things that they hear that they get offended by. To me, the thing that offends me the most is every time that I hear the N-word. Not nigger, by the way. I mean the N-word. Literally, whenever a white lady on CNN with nice hair says the N-word, that's just white people getting away with saying nigger. That's all that is. They found a way to say nigger. N-word. It's bullshit, because when you say the N-word, you put the word nigger in the listener's head. That's what saying a word is. You say the N-word and I go, oh, she means nigger. You're making me say it in my head. Why don't you fucking say it instead and take responsibility?
Anyway, for everybody who does not know or has not seen it already, I'm gonna be talking some mad shit about Jim Sterling tonight. I'm gonna be talking a lot of shit about people who have come out about how this is so fucked. But first, just for posterity's sake, we have to watch the fucking stupid video that is making people mad.
One behind the orange car.
What? What the fuck is happening?
What the hell was that? The potato was fucking insane. I was holding it so fucking straight.
What a fucking nigger. Jeez, oh my god, what the fuck? Sorry, but what the fuck? What a fucking asshole. I don't mean that in a bad way, Jesus. Why would he do that?
Okay, first of all, part of the point is, if you guys didn't notice, he apologized immediately after he said it. He immediately apologized. Oh, yes, also, thank you, Ryan Ferrier, for the super chat about me getting better internet. However, real quick, I will be moving in about 2 months, to a real city. So maybe I'll have better... you know what, part of it is I'm not hardwired in. That's probably it. Santiago, thank you for the super chat. Type true nigga if Pewge is your nigga. Yeah, do that, please. And then the chat absolutely did. Thanks, guys. Love you all. Anyway, so this has made people really upset, and this would be the second time in a year that Pewdiepie has blown up the internet, far more so than, oh, what's her name, Kim Kardashian ever did, that's for sure. I feel really bad for streaming at the same time as Hard Bastard, but I wanted to do this tonight because this is not something I want to make a video on. There's not enough here for me to make a video on. I am going to talk about social science, it's me. We're going to look at probably 2 or 3 studies, and we're going to talk a little bit about the psychology. I think most of you know by now what psychological reactance is, how it's really stupid to tell people they can't do something because it absolutely, on a very basic psychological level, makes everybody want to do the exact opposite of what you told them they could not do. So, yeah, this is a Daily Caller article. One of the reasons I mentioned that I don't like to stream at the same time as Hard Bastard is because, he just went through this article, so I'm not going to do it. He's live. That will be he'll do a whole video where he covers this article. I just brought it up because, but it's not just the Daily Caller, who, you know, are generally pretty, I think, pretty even-handed on some things. Here's this, I don't know, nightmare. Well, I don't know what this rag is. Just called, the article is called PewDiePie Stop by Azif Khan. So yeah, people were really upset that Pewd said the word, the dreaded word, and I know I had to replay it, but the Louis C.K. line is, you know what, it is, because it's very obnoxious to me too. Because when you say, quote, the N-word, everybody knows what the fuck you're saying. Everyone knows what you mean by that. You're trying to say nigger and get away with it as a white person, or as a black, whatever, like, but somehow the idea that a word is so evil is very bizarre to me. As someone who studies communication, that a word can be so, afflicting, I guess? I find that very odd. Particularly because, as I will go into some of the research, not only because when you restrict people's speech, it only makes them want to do it more, but moreover because joking about things like that, joking about racial humor, and joking about anything that is considered to have some negative connotation, things that are dire, for example, actually, you know, it's funnier, one, and then two, I think that it removes some of the power from that. Mega Man EXE, thank you for the super chat. As a black man, I don't care about the word. About the word about nigga. All these so-called black activists should have stopped its mainstream use in hip hop. Yeah. Well, I will be looking at one article that talks about how it's emancipatory, actually. And you know, I don't know if I agree with that. It's more of a critical cultural piece, which I normally don't read, but I was just reading some articles before I started the stream. I brought up one of my favorite articles. But, yeah, like, no one ever gave a shit about iDubbbz saying the word nigger, which he's said so many times, and he is you understand, guys, iDubbbz, the group that he is with, is owned by Disney. I believe it's the exact same one, the exact same group that Pewds was with, and they don't apparently care when he says it, because it's comedy. Well, bizarre, but yeah, watch this stream get shut down. This will get uploaded to the channel, but I'm sure it'll be a big, naughty, bad girl thing. Luke Host asks, why are white people to the left telling minorities to get offended over an insult over a video game? Pewds' aim is more insulting, to be honest, yeah. Well, no, Pewds admits to being fucking terrible at video games, but let's look at this trash heap that I found. Okay, Pewdiepie, stop. It's time to stop acting like you're doing this accidentally. We all get mad at video games. I curse like a sailor, but never does that word, because I am morally pure and far greater than you come out of my mouth. Look, here's the thing. Everybody knows that word, okay? Everybody knows it for the exact same reason that Louis C.K. brought up, is that everybody knows, and when you say the N-word, quote, it just puts that word, nigger, in your head. So, for you to say that, like, if you're getting real fucking mad at a video game, and you know that word, and we know that you know that word, that it's not possible, knowing that that is something that that is an insult, would not be in your repertoire of insults to just come spewing out of your spewing out of your mouth, because you fucking know it. It's in your head. And in fact, you know, the more, extreme the word, well, the more likely you're going to fucking do that. The more likely that the worst word will come out. So PewDiePie casually said, what a fucking nigger on a live stream. The games, press, and social media have exploded about the topic, and not a word from him. Well, he said right after he said it, he said sorry. He immediately said sorry. And you can't, today, see, this is another thing that I wanted to point out that no one else is talking about. Today he put up a video about stream fails, and that was just looking at other people fucking up while they were streaming. It looked very much like this was a big middle finger to everybody who was upset about it. In reality, I do believe that this video had been uploaded several days earlier. So I don't think... because he said later in that stream, something like, it's funny because I just recorded a video about stream fails, and then I fucking dropped the M-bomb. Brendan... Stiltner, love the channel. You're one of my favorite skeptic TM channels. What do you think about some fans calling you mommy? That's cool, man. You call me what the fuck ever. But he's maintained radio silence across all his media channels. Because I don't think it's really a big deal. To me, really, I don't think it's a big deal. They're acting like dropping this fucking word is so incredible. I don't know what to do about the lag. It is on the absolute lowest latency, I do believe. I will double check though. Yeah, it's on ultra low latency, and right now, I just checked it before the stream starts, I'm getting 50 Mbps, so if that's not good enough, I don't know what the fuck, like, is happening. Anyway, Asa Dubberly, N. Friender has been has been propagated to be so powerful in order to cause a divide between racial groups and enslave black people through language. If a word can set you off, you are a slave to that word. Absolutely. I will be getting into that a little bit more, because I believe that is completely correct. If you allow yourself to be completely controlled by a word, look, words in many ways, or whatever we give them in terms of their power and their ability to control us or affect us. That's an interesting thing about language, is that it is constantly evolving, particularly English. English is a constantly evolving language, and as such, it is on ultra low latency. There is nothing I can do about the stream quality. like I said, if I'm at 50 Mbps, that's pretty good, like, for anywhere in the United States. So, I don't know, man. Alright. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. Let's just keep looking at this bullshit. But black people say it, of course, so this is what everyone's gonna say. Black people took that word back from racist and made it their own. I don't agree. If black people took that word back, quote, from racist and made it their own, why does it make you so despondent? Why does it make you so upset? If that's your word, I don't care how many rap albums it's on that you've purchased. Okay, well, alright, so if it's fine for you to say it, then why does it fucking trigger you? And I think, you know, I wasn't really going to do this, but I think I am. I have all my links set up, but I'm going to look this up really quick because I saw this no lie on poll today, so. It was, we'll see if I can find it. Because these guys, this is just... Maybe I won't be able to find it again. It was just like, these people that were getting so incredibly upset. And it's not the only one. Like, you can find it, just look at, you know, anybody, really. Type in PewDiePie reaction video, and you're gonna find people getting absolutely blown the fuck out at how upset they are over this. That somehow this is the one I saw today, and I should have pulled it back up, but the one I saw today where it was these, like, 3 black guys who were, like, on the verge of tears, I'm gonna say, watching him say nigger. Like, it was something so incredibly unbelievable. Now, if you've taken this word back, if you own it, then why would somebody saying the word make you want to cry? Yo, what are you doing? Ugh. It's just unbelievable. And it's not anything. Like, just look it up on YouTube. Just type it in and say PewDiePie N-word reaction. Oh, actually, let me change my search terms. Maybe I'll find it a little bit more easily. This was really short, though. It's not really important. It was just disgusting to me. I think they put a hyphen in N-word like I did, so maybe I'll find it better that way. I don't remember what they were. Also, the people, it was really funny in this video I was watching because they started out, I don't know who these people are, but they started out with rap music, and they started, and then they are like, hey, what's up, it's your boy, and they say all that kind of stuff, so it's like clearly influenced by, you know, what if you want to call it hip-hop culture or whatever, but the exact same thing that this person here is talking about, like, oh, you took back the word, you own it now. Well, okay, then get the fuck over it. He dropped an N-bomb and immediately apologized. Isn't just PewDiePie. I hear that horrible word when I play online multiplayer in a variety of games. Get over it, honey. It happens. It's language, it's free speech. I don't care how much you hate the word, by the way. I really just don't care. It's still free speech. They're allowed to say, and you know, you can hate them all you want, but it is still free speech. And of course you're going to hear that because part of what people do online is try to troll you. And guess what? You're allowing them to win. By showing people that just hearing a fucking word makes you so upset. So upset that you gotta write all these fucking articles. Well, no shit people are gonna say that to you because they know that it upsets you. It's so obvious to me. I don't know. It isn't just the N-word. Misogyny, homophobia, racism, and all other forms of hate are truly amplified by the anonymity of online gaming provides. Yes, this is what's called toxic disinhibition. It's a secondary part of de-individuation. Leah, Postmess, and Spears are going to be your best source on that. Where was the outrage when Colbert did the Nazi salute? I actually almost brought up an article that was from a couple years ago before Colbert went absolutely fucking insane. Is this one it? No, this is not it. It's from the same author, though. It's from J.P. Rosen, where he basically said that it was okay... It's okay to use... Oh, thank you, the guest, for the super chat. It's okay to use racism and humor in order to avoid... what's it called? Color blindness, because color blindness is so bad. They can't understand... This is the thing about the left that I find so interesting. Well, many things about them I find interesting. It is terrible racism when you say, well, I don't give a shit about race. I don't see color. That's very racist. But then if you joke about race or you make a racist joke, oh, how dare you, of course, whatever. Fucking A. But yes, people are more, but also what this is a part of, you say generally awful people. They're not genuinely awful people who pride themselves on saying as offensive things as they possibly can in a given session. Now, there are people like that. I enjoy saying very offensive things. But this is also just the relative anonymity of the internet, such as it is now. It is relative. It used to be more pure anonymity. But the relative anonymity of the internet allows people to just be honest without fear of repercussions. We're under so many, despite all of our... despite the fact that, according to at least the United States government, we do have pretty much complete freedom of speech, and this was backed up by the Supreme Court, that there is no such thing as hate speech, that free speech is free speech, and it doesn't matter. There is no such thing as hate speech. However, in terms of social situations, we have social norms. And as such, people don't want to say certain things because, well, they know that they're going to get in trouble for saying them. So you know what they do when they're put into a de-individuated environment? Well, they're going to go ham on it. This doesn't make them awful people. This makes them repressed people who are expressing themselves because you've given them an environment wherein social norms don't exist. Thank you, Shaman McLamy. Hail Fuhrer Pewdiepie, may he reign over 1,000-year brofist empire. Yes, I would love that. And a Devil's Advocate, what's up? Thank you both for the super chat. My sister with a bigger cock than most misters. Yes. Thank you. And thanks for showing up. You showed up in HB's stream too. Thanks for that. I hate to be streaming at the same time as him, but I didn't want to go too late with this. I wanted to cover it relatively early. Ugh. Choose a side. 2 stories have popped up within the last week that sum up the video game world pretty well right now. Last week, Dean Takahashi drew tons of criticism over some Cuphead gameplay footage, which if you guys have not seen that, it is a supposed games journalist who absolutely cannot get through the tutorial stage of a video game. People were asking him to kill himself, oh, poor BB, over gameplay footage. Now this week we have some people rushing to defend PewDiePie's right despite his track record. Actually, you know what? Let's see what, according to Kotaku, PewDiePie's track record is. Oh, he said he was gonna stop making Nazi jokes? I think I do remember this. I watch him every day, so it's kind of like, at this point, I'd really like to distance myself from all of this Shellberg said. I remember back when everything happened in February, I was sort of like, I mean, they're just jokes. There's not actual Nazis out there. What are you talking about? And then I look at this and I'm like, oh, I see. Okay, well, Pewds, most of them were probably paid Soros shills, let's get completely honest. I'm not gonna say how many. I'm not gonna make a definitive statement on that. But when we talk about Charlottesville, the video I just put out is sort of related to it, and the one that I am going to be working on, I've got the script's written. The script is done, but it just involves actually recording it, which I can only do at night because of the stupid fucking trucks and cars and annoying shit. So whatever, some shitty Charlottesville article. But like, okay, this is oh my god, it's our girl Patricia Hernandez who wrote this, so it's probably really a good article. Sorry I didn't read it beforehand. So you know, Felix bought into the lie that there were hundreds of Nazis or thousands of Nazis, whatever, at Charlottesville instead of like 5 people. And we don't know how many were paid. Oh, see, people were upset that I didn't hear about this at all, but whatever. I'm sure that, yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit disappointed he would say that he would fell for the bullshit, but, he lives in the UK, and he's a Swede. I don't really blame him for not understanding the complexities of what happens in the United States. And I don't think he's actually going to say anything. I don't think he's probably just, you know, doing what you need to do in response to Charlottesville. Like, oh yes, I have to, you know, come out and say, like, this was wrong. There clearly are Nazis. Not many. Look, guys, you guys all know that I use poll every single goddamn day. There are people there who self-identify as Nazis. That's absolutely true. I mean... And I don't think the idea that Polish satire is completely true. Some people are joking, but not everybody is. These people are interesting to have a conversation with, though, at least. There's just not a billion of them, as the entire mainstream media wanted everyone to think, as they were engaging in constructing a moral panic. Misty Spillers, I learned a valuable proverb when I was in kindergarten 30 years ago. I want to share it. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. You know, I'm surprised. I don't think we're allowed to say that anymore. Because now they're saying that words are violence. I'm seeing this everywhere, that words are violence. That maybe words are worse than violence because you might hurt somebody's feelings and then you cause psychological trauma. Now, I would say this. There is a little bit of a inaccuracy in that psychological research does indicate that bullying that is non-physical, for example, has a much longer psychological impact on the bullied than physical bullying. It depends on the extent of the bullying long term. It depends on a lot of things. But words can hurt if it's repeated psychological bullying and ostracization. However, hearing a word, no, fuck off. Thank you, though, for the super chat, Misty Spillers. Laura Spade, U.S. Army Combat Infantry veteran here. When I swore to defend the Constitution of the United States, the one thing I hate is words you cannot say. Absolutely, I agree. Thank you for the super chat. Because the idea is anathema to the First Amendment. The Goth, Europe's like 95% white and never had a slave trade. Does nigger even translate in most of their languages? Also, do you think Richard Spencer is a fed? I don't know about, like, here's the thing. There aren't enough people that are sincerely alt-right, sincerely hardcore alt-right, I think, to even have that kind of controlled opposition. So I think he's legitimate, and also, Richard Spencer has said some stupid fucking shit. No, look, he has admitted to being a socialist, and if you are a Nazi, well, you should be, and you should accept that you're a socialist, and that you want socialist policies for your ethnic state, and that's cool. If you're at least being honest with it, but that ostracizes anybody who doesn't agree with that. Anybody who is considered alt-right, who is more of a individualist. Now, therein, becomes part of the problem there too. Anyway. I don't think Richard Spencer is a psyop or whatever. I think he's completely honest. And I don't even think he's such a horrible guy, like they hate him so much. Anyway, let's move on. I did want to point this out. Europe did have a slave trade, by the way. Everyone has had a slave trade at one point or another. I would point that out. Everyone's had a slave trade, pretty much. There is still an active slave trade in the world, particularly in the Middle East. Rachel Loretto, thank you for doing your vids. They make me feel like I learned something. Thank you. Hopefully, even though it's a live stream, hopefully we'll do a little bit of science at the end. I do want to point out that Brianna Wu, of course, had to put in her... Oh my god, I can't believe I did that! Fuck! Brianna Wu had to put in his 2 cents. Here's my thing about trans people. If I don't know anything about you, and you appear to be a man in a dress, if I see that you're trying, I will still give you the respect to be enough to placate you, to be like, because it's a basic level of human decency and respect of, I see you want to be called a woman, so I will use feminine pronouns for you. Brianna Wu is a piece of shit, so I'm going to call Brianna Wu a guy. You're a he. Fuck off. And it's the same thing with, what's his name? Riley Dennis. You're a fucking man. You are not a woman. Jesus Christ. If you are trying, I will give you the respect. I will give you the respect to humor you. That's it. Not you, Brianna. To people talking about PewDiePie isn't congressional, because, of course, if you guys did remember, Brianna Wu is running for Congress. Over what? Like, he is running for Congress on the idea of trans issues and that he was bullied in Gamergate. John Walker Flint, thank you, I forgot his real name. No, Brianna Wu is a trans man. Or trans woman, excuse me. Nazis are back, y'all. Talking about structural racism is on freaking point. I hate people who type like this, first of all. This makes me physically ill, actually. I just hate it. But, oh, god damn it. Yeah, I just thought we should point that out. What really is the meat of all of this thing is that this guy, Sean Vonneman, who is the co-founder, I guess, I don't feel like looking at it, of the company that worked on Firewatch, which is a shitty... I mean, I've played worse walking simulators. I've played Gone Home for, a lark. There are worse ones, but it's a shitty fucking walking simulator. There's no real gameplay involved in it. said this yesterday. This is what's getting everybody's panties in a bunch, and certainly mine. We're filing a DMCA takedown of PewDiePie's Firewatch content and any future Campo Santo games. Oh, that's the company, Campo Santo. Look, I know someone that keeps getting brought up, but he had a whole little rant here. There is a bit of leeway you have with the internet when you wake up every day and make video games. There is also a breaking point. The breaking point is a word? One fucking word? I am getting sick of this child. How fucking old are you, you asshole? Fuck, now, god damn it. Now I'm gonna bring it back up, okay. Look, Pewdiepie is the same age as me, we're both 27. So, fuck you. Getting more and more chances to make money off of what we make. Well, that's interdasting, isn't it? Considering, as I will bring up here in a second, I don't have this exactly set up to do this yet, but, where is it? PewDiePie folder, yeah. Well, if you go to their fucking website, and you know what, it's probably just down here in the chats, or in the, yeah, here it is. Alright, that was easy. Thanks, Mark! Can I stream this game? Can I make money off of those streams? This is from the Firewatch website, guys. Yes, we love that people stream and share their experiences in the game. You are free to monetize your videos as well. Not like you could tell them that they couldn't, because we've been pretty established that this is how Let's Plays work. It doesn't hurt to let us know on Twitter where you live. We might even show up, when you're live, excuse me, well, where you live, that would be creepy. When you're live, we might show up in your chat. Fuck. Alright, so, you're already a fucking lying piece of shit. He's worse than a closeted racist. He's a propagator of despicable garbage that does real damage to culture and this industry. How? Fucking cite your evidence. How has PewDiePie done any damage to the industry, you idiot? He is the biggest YouTuber on the platform who has made millions of dollars by fucking streaming video games. And you know what? A lot of what he does, because he plays some very obscure and weird games, he actually brings attention towards games other people might not pay attention to, including your shit walking simulator. Popog, favorite test, chi-squared, or students' tease. Favorite test? I like doing log linear regressions. Probably my favorite, because they can get really complicated. But I mean, like, I had to learn how to do chi-squared by hand back in undergrad. That was fun, though. I had a professor from Sri Lanka, and he said, if you, in Sri Lanka, they would make them do all that stuff by hand, so we had to do all by hand. He's like, you should be this will be racist, you should be very, very happy. In Sri Lanka, they slap us on hands if we cannot do. Like, yeah, it was really fun. Actually, it taught me a lot about statistics. Anyway, okay. I urge other developers and will be reaching out to folks much larger than us to cut him off from the content that has made him a millionaire. How? Cut him off from the content? So you mean, but what, not allowing him to play your games, or just trying to do this sort of shit? Like, do this false bullshit DMCA garbage? Because we're going to get into how bullshit this is. The fact that they're trying to file DMCAs about his playing a game as a matter of a live stream, which not only do we have proof that they said is fine in their own language, not that there's anything they can do about it, because there's 20 fucking million Let's Play videos that are uploaded to YouTube every goddamn day. So fuck you, Sean. Furthermore, we're complicit. I'm sure we've made money off of the 5.7 million views that video has, so at least he admits it. And that's something for us to think about. Well, not really hard, because you started out this way with a pretty definitive statement that you're not really thinking, you're just going in raw on it, huh? Lastly, I love streamers. Do you now? You love streamers as long as they agree with you politically and they don't accidentally say a naughty word? I watch them daily, and we sent out over 3,000 keys to professional and amateur streamers of Firewatch. Yeah, first one's pretty good. It's got a lot of responses. Yeah, you're acting so childish. People make money off playing games now. So what? You can't handle it? Then don't make games. Yeah, fuck off, asshole. Jesus Christ. So everybody's favorite copyright attorney, Leonard French, had a couple things to say on it. We'll watch a little bit of his thing real quick at the same time.
He then corrects himself to most streaming is infringement. And a whole bunch of people have decided to point out this one very, very important image here. I don't know how much more I can blow this up, but it's pretty easy to see here. I found
this is
free to monetize your videos.
Yeah.
Until you are a major streamer who has been accused of racism and then you let slip a racist utterance, and so then that's license for a separate, unrelated developer to then pull your stream of their game that they had no problem with until you said the thing you said. Now let's just think about this for a second here. If they had a problem with his use of their copyright on a stream of Firewatch, they had all this time to bring up what a problem it was, but it wasn't a problem until he said the N-word on a separate stream, and then all of a sudden they want some kind of either retaliation or protest or just nothing to do with him.
Okay, so this is really important. This is the important thing about what... sorry, that's a bad phase of Leonard's to freeze on. But this is very important to point out because this whole thing, why this is so bullshit, is because the game he was playing was PlayerUnknown's Battleground, right? So, what the fuck are they doing? This is bullshit. They have no legal recourse here. This DMCA is complete bullshit. You had months. I don't know, when did he even fucking play Firewatch? The game came out a year and a half ago? A year ago? I'm sure it's when he played it. So whatever. This is absolute nonsense. And the thing that I find so insane about this, because it is not new that shit developers like these fucking faggots will pull bullshit in the games industry. Oh no, Ricky follows him. Okay. But anyway, this is not new. But this is more about the games industry. That shitty developers like these people will pull shit like this, and they always get shut down. This is an astounding thing to do in particular. Right after H3 wins the lawsuit against Bold Guy for the exact same for saying it's not fair use. It's not fair use. Well, yes, it's obviously fair use. It's a Let's Play. Like I said, there are millions, basically, of videos about Let's Plays every single day uploaded to YouTube that don't get flagged for DMCA violation. So, this guy's an idiot. What they're going to do is draw themselves... I really hope that they do it. I really, really hope that they actually do all this. They file the DMCAs, that they go in and... Okay, Wait, I can't type the word fag on Twitter. I'll get banned for 12 hours. I mean, I guess I could, but what? I'm no internet comment etiquette. I don't know how a good way to tweet to the guy. Yeah, I know it's virtue signaling, but the point is that I wanted to get to. I am going to get into the idea of do it fag. Yeah, this is not. I don't know what to say. Lil 5 UP6, thank you for the super chat. Aiden, please fuck me, you turn me on so much. Sorry fam, I'm taken. Anyway, here's why I got a little bit mad. Not Leonard French, he explained what the fucking problem was. So I saw this came up today. Now I tweeted out yesterday the original Pewds video, and I just said, my boy, because I was like, because it's funny, what, he obviously doesn't give a shit, as I think none of us should, and we'll get into maybe some more of the science behind that, but, so I wake up this fucking morning, well, early afternoon, I see Jim Sterling, who is a fucking cuck, by the way. Hang on, we'll put this up here real quick, before we get into this goddamn fucking video. Yeah. Okay, here's a little thing. I know this is, I'm sure it's a 4chan meme, but Jim Sterling is actually a cuck. Actually, confirmed cuck. So, he is in a open relationship with his wife? Question mark? a female version of him who is equally fat and actually has both my same hair color. Well, no, hers a little bit more gray, and hairstyle, which is disturbing. She wants a black Bond. She wants the female Ghostbusters, possibly even trans Power Rangers while we're at it, because white guys are boring. Do you and Jim sometimes hook up with other people? No judgment here, but polyamory is alien to me. And Jim says, yes, whatever. Yes, and Jim does not identify as gay or nor straight. Now, one thing I want to point out, I do actually still watch Jim Sterling's coverage of stuff, even though he's such a piece of shit. Because sometimes he does have good, quick coverage on shit that happens in the video game industry. That's about it. Yeah, that's the only real reason. Laura Spade, thank you for the super chat. I sent Vanaman a message saying, I will not play your game or support you in any way. Then Boondocks kept saying, oh, y'all niggas are gay. Thank you for doing it. I only didn't want to call him a faggot because I think I get banned. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't want to get kicked off of Twitter, at least right now. I thought everybody knew I'm dating Hard Bastard. Like, that's, yeah, sorry, guys. We'll get into, let's look at some of these shitty fucking tweets about it, too, real quick. I saved a couple since I got this up on, OBS. I'll turn this back on. And this should work, right? Nah, alright. Alright. So, haven't you gone on Xbox? This is Goth Mrs. Frizzle. Haven't you gone on Xbox Live? Kids say stuff like that all the time. Well, they do. That was what that other article was bitching about. Like, yeah, people fucking say nigger because they are disinhibited, because it is a thing that they're not being allowed to do in real life, and that is what psychological reactance is that they are reasserting their independence and identity and ability to speak freely. That's the fuck how psychological reactance works, you goddamn idiot. But they say it because they grew up watching assholes like Pewdiepie. Pewds has been around for 6 years. How old do you think these kids are who were not on Xbox Live, I guess? That 6 years ago they grew up on Pewdiepie. Okay. Jamil Joseph, from a black man, these people need to grow the fuck up. Yeah, I think they do, because look at it. I don't know if this is a picture of her, but I'm gonna guess this is a white woman. I'm gonna guess it's a white woman. People that I see getting the most angry about this are white, particularly white women, but white people in general. They're being offended on behalf of black people, which is an absurdity. You cannot... It doesn't make any sense to get fucking offended for somebody else. The problem isn't one using a racial slur. It's the normalization of its use in a community led by its most vocal members. Actually, I don't think so. I think that if you make it into a joke, and I have reasons, a lot of humor research to believe this, it helps reduce the volatility of the word. It helps to make it less serious. Most telling aspect of the whole debacle is the denial of the community's problem with racism while rushing to defend and minimalize his actions. He said it. It was this is why, like, I wasn't gonna do a video on this, guys, because this is seriously a guy on YouTube said nigger. That's it. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, here we have Jim Sterling. We're gonna get into him. Pewdiepie is just a liability. He said this directly in the video. Everyone else in the business. That's an absurd statement as well. Oh, I'm not going to... What, do you want me to, like, dance around it? Like, it's not... I'm not going to fucking not say the word. It's just a fucking word. When you give words, you put this magical thinking property into them, like, they're fucking... They have this incredible capacity to control and to affect people. You are the one putting power into that word. Why don't you remove the power from the word? If you stop putting it on a pedestal, then it doesn't have any power over you, for fuck's sake. If Schellberg said Packy, nobody in the US would have batted an eyelash, but if he said it in the UK, they would have, because that's a slur there. Thank you for the super chat, Merc. That Indian dude, my workplace was having a meeting about workplace diversity. I jokingly said, too many Chinese and Indians here needs some more white men. The SJWs got butthurt. I escaped because I am an Indian. From your name, I assumed. But, well... Yeah, you can't even... We'll get into the joking. I always want to blow my load when I have a little bit of research to talk about. Also, Austin Kane, thank you for the super chat. And thank you, that Indian dude. Happy Bring Your Plane to Work Day. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams, and it certainly can't melt dank memes. There's some more from Goth Miss Frizzle. The problem isn't one person using a racial slur. Yeah, we talked about this. So, this is the hilarious thing about how the left eats itself. We have Quaterny Alsbon saying, look, lady, if you're gonna talk racial slurs, take the fucking spook out yo name. It's on the level of jigaboo. My grandma hates the word spook. They can't even get along within their... I mean, this is not the first time. They cannot get along within their own, just outrage. Oh, you got spook person. Oh, no. Oh, spook, that's a slur. Can't say fucking shit, I guess. I mean, it's the same thing with the term person of color. You're still saying colored person. Now, I understand the rationale behind this, because I had to have, guess what, diversity training telling us why we have to do it that way. Not just person of color, but not just in our research when we actually publish it, but when we talk to students, for example. Is Osborn a troll? I think he might be. That's really funny, though. I wouldn't be surprised if people actually got mad about that. But when you talk about someone, for example, who is in a wheelchair, you cannot say... Like, I think you guys understand that this is an ongoing nightmare of semantics. So you used to say differently abled person. Oh, but then the word different is bad. So now you have to say person, because this is what I've heard, and I've heard this in my, quote, training. You have to emphasize the person status, so that's why they don't see that saying person of color is not the exact same thing as saying colored person, because you're emphasizing by placing it first, the person status, that they're a person. Just in case you forgot that black people are people. What the fuck ever. So now I think the most correct term for a cripple is person of unique ability? It's something like that. Beer Force, can you and Hard Bastard please take turns sitting on my face? I don't know about that. You have to ask him too. Yeah, you can't. Oh well, no. Retarded is gone. It's It's person with developmental delays. You absolutely can't even imply that at some point they're gonna catch up. They're just delayed. I mean, it simply is what retarded means. It just means slowed. Anyway, let's get that out of here. All right, let's watch a little bit of this. So I want to point this out. Jim Sterling put this crap out today. The first part of the video was fine. He was being very sarcastic, talking about the CSGO scammers, essentially, and he clearly had, like, made his whole point of the video about how, because they had been, cleared of any legal fault, then they weren't in any real problem of their own. But then he gets to Pewds.
Now to talk about the other good boy who did no, I can't even keep the sarcasm up for this.
You see, he can't even keep the sarcasm up because he's so disgusted that he said a wrong think word that is taboo.
This one, I'm not even going to jokingly defend Pewdiepie. Fucking hell. Okay, it's first thing Monday.
Okay, so I will unjokingly totally defend Pewdiepie, so fuck you, Jim.
Morning as I record this bit, the video was done, but then on Sunday it turned out that PewDiePie just can't keep his fucking mouth shut. After already being in trouble for making jokes about the Holocaust, the face of YouTube, Jesus Christ, decided to start dropping racial slurs during a live stream. In what some are calling a heated moment, he said the N-word. I'm not going to say it here, and don't go throwing that, oh, he's doing self-censorship.
You are doing self-censorship, Jim. You are. You absolutely are. Just fucking say it. A racial slur. Yeah, at least go the Louis C.K. route and say what the fuck this slur was. It was the N-word. Yeah, say it. If you just... You're still putting it in everyone's brains. Everyone knows what word you're fucking talking about. Don't be a pussy bitch and say nigger, for fuck's sake.
He won't say it bollocks at me. I'm not gonna say it. Go say it on your own fucking time. While he's got plenty of devil's advocates, the point is, if you're dropping that on a live stream, if you've got that little self-control, and if that's the word you're gonna immediately jump to, in front...
Well, guys, I'm on a live stream and I've said it how many times? But I'm not calling anyone that word. I'm just saying it. Now, also, I don't think necessarily even calling someone the word is a problem. It depends on the context in which it's used. Fretchinator 2 super chat, is colored nigger the worst word that will destroy the world? I don't know. I think it could be probably nigger faggot. Probably is the worst phrase. Yeah.
of an audience, a huge audience, huge like T. Martin's, I think it's time to accept that you are a fucking liability. It's because of shit like this that the adpocalypse is happening, where people's videos are being
Oh my
flagged
god,
as
okay. So he did not say it completely directly, but I think we all know what the fuck Jim meant here. He just blamed the adpocalypse on PewDiePie, not on the Wall Street Journal. Look at this shit. He didn't blame the Wall Street Journal going through months of 10-minute long videos to try and find enough shit to make a 5-minute long compilation where they cut shit up, took shit out of context, in order to create what we call the adpocalypse. Fuck you, Jim. Santiago, super chat, complains about Holocaust jokes while the entire theme looks like it's lifted from the Nazis. Okay, that's a good point. Not only does he, it's more, even if it's not a Nazi aesthetic, he prides himself on being edgy. It's like, I'm so edgy, first of all, I'm so full of myself, and that's of course a joke, but I'm so edgy all the time, I'm so brash and daring. I'm Jim Sterling, the giant, literal, massive cuck, in every way that phrase could be interpreted. Artemis Worm, thank you for the super chat, fucks Jim Sterling.
inappropriate for advertisers, because advertisers don't want anything to do with this shit, no matter how popular YouTube is.
No, some advertisers do. Hard Bastard and I have talked about this, is that if YouTube just let porn companies, like if they let Bad Dragon advertise on YouTube on 18+ videos, well, I think a lot of people would be interested. And not just on PewDiePie. But, you know, if he's been kicked from Disney anyway, then what's the fucking problem? Just let anybody advertise here. That Indian dude, thank you again for the super chat. Great content, informative, entertaining. This is my hard-earned money. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's like professional wrestling. A lot of companies feel they're above it because it's for quote-unquote rednecks, so they don't pump money into a primetime slot. But then again, even WWE...
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I can't believe that he's acting like WWE is not a massive product that makes enormous amounts of money. You're a complete moron. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it doesn't have an enormous audience that a lot of advertisers would kill to have primetime on for cheap buckaroos.
WWE knows not to start dropping racial slurs in the middle of its broadcasts.
Say the word, you pussy! Fucking say it! For fuck's sake, hang on. God damn it.
At least now it does. YouTube is in an incredibly precarious predicament right now, and shit like this is just making it worse for everybody. PewDiePie is a liability for everybody in the industry.
Oh, how is he a liability? See, this is what I don't... He keeps fucking saying this. That PewDiePie is a liability. How? How? How is he a liability? He doesn't provide any evidence for this or why he thinks this, but he said it also on Twitter. Because I thought maybe he just misspoke in this video a little bit, since he said he recorded it very early in the morning. Like, what do you mean he's a liability? A liability to who? Every single... Look, right now, on this website, you can find ISIS recruitment videos. And I'm not talking about the ones that Hard Bastard and I watched. You can find actual ISIS recruitment videos. You can go to Twitter and find active ISIS accounts. Are they a liability? Are you talking about that kind of shit, Jim? Nah, PewDiePie, for dropping an N-bomb on a stream, is a liability to YouTube? Fuck you. Laura Spade, get your donations into the Awesome Aiden Paladin because you already know this shit will be demonetized, and she dropped enough nukes, yes, to level North Korea, yes. Yeah, I'm this one. The Adpocalypse is retroactively the Nigpocalypse. Thank you, Charlemagne. The Gath, also thank you for the super chat. Take more money, smart lady. Why is Holocaust denial treated differently from Soviet and Islam apologetics? I think because when people think you say Holocaust denial, oh god, am I doing to start this? They think that you mean that nobody died in the Holocaust, or that the Holocaust is not in any way exactly the 6 Gorillion figure. That's not the case. I think anybody who's looked into it knows that the idea that it was all, first of all, there was all German Jews. No, it wasn't. It wasn't all German Jews. it was actually the Nazis actually they didn't want to kill. Oh no, did it drop? Oh shit. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised when I was like, let me talk about the Holocaust. No, the Germans did not actually necessarily want to murder German Jews. In fact, there were very few death camps, and most of the death camps, I think there was only one that was not in Poland, because Hitler also did not, okay, this is up for debate, how much Hitler believed that the Slavs weren't human, or how much of that was not believing the Slavs were human, or how much it was that he just wanted Poland because he wanted their land. So we could have that debate, but the death camps were in Poland because they were there to destroy and kill Polish Jews. However, the death camps didn't even operate that long. They became concentration camps as the war effort went on because they needed more people to provide for the German war effort. Oh, hey, Braving Room, what's up? Tiny Telephones, thank you for Super Chat. Not a big fan of the gays, it's just like the geese. I know I'm not supposed to talk about the Holocaust, it's a naughty thing to do. The Freshinator 2, I'm going to make the word more likely for people to say because keep saying the N-word instead of nigger. Well, that's what Louis C.K.'s point was. You're putting it in their head. It's how it's how your brain works. It is exactly how your brain works. I mean, you're still saying the fucking word. Anyway.
As
I should stop
evidenced
being
by
naughty.
the fact that a game developer said they were going to DMCA one of PewDiePie's videos because they don't want their game associated with him. That, of course, has thrown up an entire different brand of rhetoric, where you can't call PewDiePie's condemnable act condemnable.
Condemnable. Sorry, I know it's late, guys. If anyone wants to go to bed, don't feel necessary. I didn't even think this was going to go on for an hour. Yeah, I am bi. I'm a total degenerate. I'm not on Jim Sterling's level, no. But he calls his actions condemnable. So making jokes about Jews is condemnable, I guess, even though it's a fucking joke. And then accidentally look, Jim, you fucker. How could anyone among us? I know that, like, you know, virtue signaling assholes will say, like, I've never said that word. Nope. I've never. No, I have absolutely been playing online games and just belted it out. Normally it's to myself and not on a live stream. But look, the word is in your brain, and it has been introduced into our understanding of the English language. This is the worst word you can say. So if you're feeling particularly upset, what the fuck are you gonna say? The worst word you can say. Fuck off. Shaman McLamy, thank you for Super Chat. I drive for Lyft, and the best passengers are 2 or more faggots, I'm sure. Well, really? Huh. They tip well? They're just clean. Austin Kane, thank you for the Super Chat. Calling Jim Sterling cuck is an insult to cuckold. I mean, he literally is a cuck. Uppity Kukwaldjin, as a special snowflake nigger faggot, I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding. It's not just a word, it's an expression of camaraderie and shared history that's had to deal with systemic oppression. We'll get into that. I've got, here guys, I don't do anything without having some studies.
Without someone chirping in, oh, so that means you support DMCA takedowns now, you support copyright strikes.
I think you do, Jim. This is what we're going to get into. These videos up here, oh, you can't see it because I have it cropped out.
Do you? No, I don't. In fact, the idea of this happening is a little bit worrying. Not because I think the developers of Firewatch are going to go around DMCAing anything they like, but imagine if PewDiePie takes this to court.
Really? You don't think that the Firewatch people or anyone like them who uses this as a standard of operation is going to then just start being like, hey, this person, hey, this Aiden Paladin bitch, oh, excuse me, I wouldn't say that, this Aiden Paladin person, now again, I got the pussy pass, so I don't know how much trouble I'll get in. Yo, actually, Vicky Poita, I started with that Louis C.K. bit on the N-word. But if you think that this is going to be an isolated incident, and what I find so fucking hypocritical, thank you, Zero the Heartless King, for saying it for me, Jim Hypocrite Sterling seems fitting to me. Oh, it sure fucking does, doesn't it?
And loses, which he might, because lawyers are coming out of the...
Yeah, you think he's gonna lose? You think he's gonna lose over what we just went out after fucking I got it. Is there a better picture of John? There we go. That's a little better. Of like, or Leonard, I call him John, of Leonard French, just went over what bullshit this is. You are trying to file a DMCA years potentially after the fact over a completely unrelated incident that has nothing to do with the video in question. You are up shit creek without a paddle, you idiots. You have no leg to stand on here, and Jim, you're either a moron or you're being intentionally intellectually dishonest if you think there is any possibility that these motherfuckers have any chance of winning in court. Holy shit, Baron, what's up? of winning in court against PewDiePie, who's got fucking 56 million subscribers and absolutely is not losing this court case, you fucker.
Woodwork to say that his brand of Let's Plays are not protected by fair use, and there may very well be a case for taking the video and keeping it down.
No, there's no case. We talked about this. There is no case. There is no case.
Right now, YouTube has always been in a grey area because there's no precedent set in court. And
yeah, sorry guys, I had a minute. I had to take a second. Austin Kane, thanks for the super chat. Baron is a cunt, interesting. I mean, yeah, I think he'd probably agree.
And nobody really wants to be the one to roll the dice on setting that precedent. I remember back when digital...
What? Again, how stupid do you have to be? Now, here's the other thing. I got, guys, I got some other, Jim Sterling videos. What is this? Oh, that's Mark's... That's hard bastard stream. Oh shit, now my internet's fucked. Okay, yeah, we'll get into it, that he has purposefully talked a whole bunch of shit about false DMCA tag-ons in the past. Knowing that there is precedence, and knowing that he is doing this a week and a half, 2 weeks? After fucking, H3H3 won their DMCA fight with Bulkai. What are you doing?
Homicide had sued me and tried to take me to court. There was a lot of pressure not to fuck that up. Me, relatively small time compared to the likes of PewDiePie, got maneuvered into a situation where I could have set the bar for everyone, PewDiePie included. Because guess what, folks? Nothing we do occurs in a bubble. And everything you do, unlike the sarcasm earlier in the video, has consequences. Even if they're...
This is so funny. Everything you do has consequences. It sure does. As you have multiple times, over and over again, argued about Jim, that your actions when you file, for example, fake, false DMCA claims have consequences. You fat fuck.
Not for you. It's easy to feel isolated and solo on YouTube. You have your own channel.
Am I skipping? Let me close a tab, or a couple of tabs. Sorry. Yeah, like the thing is, I have good internet. I have the best internet possible here. But, ugh, I don't know. Alright, I have to have some tabs open, obviously, to do this, but we'll see if that's... Oh, shit. Well, there was that thing. I did have my internet randomly go down earlier, which was really weird. Maybe... There might be a thing in the area. Rhodesians never die. I just imagine Jim calling his wife mommy, and I can say with some confidence that is the most upsetting thought I've ever had. Well, now you put it in my brain too, so like a virus, it spread to my brain, and it is also very upsetting. Thank you. I'm sick.
You deal with that, you don't necessarily worry about anybody else, but we all share the same ecosystem. We're all playing in the same garden. All of us making videos have been affected by the adpocalypse.
I don't believe Jim actually monetizes his videos, so I'm like 95% sure he does not. So now I think he's outright lying by acting like he was affected by the adpocalypse to any real extent, because Jim does no, yes, I'm sure about this. He does not monetize his videos. It's why he does this sort of cockroachy thing, where when he makes videos, he puts up gameplay footage of totally unrelated video games just to avoid them getting copyright struck. But it doesn't have anything to do with the money. It has to do with, because I don't think you get ads before his videos. You go to his fucking website and you give money there if you want to support him. So to include himself in this, I'm not saying it's bad. It's cool for him, by the way. He does have a Patreon and stuff like that. Like, it's cool for him that he's able to support himself and do this journalism, the games journalism stuff. But what the fuck are you talking about, we, and including yourself in that?
We're running some ad-supported work. A lot of it for stuff that is relatively tame, because of course YouTube's automating this shit. And that's because, again, there are a bunch of problem channels, drama channels, harassment channels, channels dedicated to racism. And then you get big figure
Channels dedicated to racism, really? Like what? I would really like to know, like what? Like which ones? I'm sure, I guarantee Jim doesn't know what Murdoch is, but oh my god, all my love goes out. I'm so sad they got taken down.
heads like Pewdiepie getting repeatedly in trouble for acting like a complete fucking arsehead, and you start to be surprised.
A complete fucking asshead for dropping a word. A mere word. Fuck you.
That someone hasn't stepped in and tried to regulate this shit sooner, because that's where it's going. YouTube is clearly starting to think of itself like some sort of broadcast network, but it's really not behaving like one in the ways that matter. It would rather let robots do all of the hard work. It would rather not look like a bad guy and take out channels that are actually causing the problems.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. It's a Jim's... Is this really, like, fucking up my video? Or the stream's really fucked? Everyone's saying it. Let me close some other tabs. Oh, you know, maybe, let me take this, let me take it off HD. There's no reason to watch this in HD. That's probably it. Right now, the social justice warmonger want Pewd's death because secretly they are run by the corporate, and Pewd is an everyman who made it big. Car Z-Day, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, well, no, that's why the Wall Street Journal hated him too. My encode rate is it is ultra low. It is the lowest. It is the absolute lowest it can be. Yeah, why not? Let's just fucking, we don't, fuck this. They hate him because they also can't control him. They can't control him because he's a self-made man, and that is the most offensive thing that they can imagine.
Look after the hardworking creators that are making it money. It's only trying to please advertisers, but at the same time, it's still letting anything go up like it's running a 2-bit circus.
I did a whole video about this. Yeah, I guess they're trying, yeah, you can say they're trying to please advertisers, but they're not doing it in a way that is smart. I'm actually surprised with this video. You know what? Fuck you. I hadn't even done that yet. I'm surprised that this video has as many likes as it does. I think, I'll tell you guys this, I think there is a bit of a ingrained hatred against PewDiePie because he's popular. There's a sort of pushback on that, so psychological reaction thing again of, oh, he's popular, everyone likes him, I want to, well, it's optimal group distinctiveness of, I'm a part of this group, gamers, and everybody likes, all the gamers like PewDiePie, and so I have to show that I don't like him to distinguish myself from the group. That's all that is. It's very simple, social psychology. Car Z-Day, thank you for super chat. This is why he must die. Also, sacking pubes to the to the ad gods will not save them. In fact, after they eat pewds, they will only want more. Absolutely. Yeah, it's not Indian.
Now, I know what you're gonna say next, at least some of you. You're gonna go, where do we draw the line? At what point does the slope get slippery? Who decides what is suitable and what is unsuitable? Fact of the matter is, I don't know. All I know is, this is how things looked before the ESRB had to step in for the game industry. And even then, it didn't keep politicians and lawmakers off of the game industry's back. Up until the mid-2000s.
Wait, okay, maybe did I misunderstand this, guys? Did he kind of just support the ESRB? That, like, that was a good thing, that we need this in order to keep games in check from being too fucked?
They were still gunning for video games, trying to regulate them and restrict them. And I worry that's coming for YouTube, and I worry it's going to be the fault of people like PewDiePie who keep getting attention for doing shit like this. That is the thing about free speech, by the way, that people forget. Free
Oh,
speech
what did we
does
forget?
not mean it's consequenceless. It doesn't mean you get to say what you want and never feel the effects of
I actually do agree that free speech is not consequenceless. But I find it very interesting that only one type of speech actually has any consequences. And it's if you say something that the left does not agree with. Because let's be honest, that is true. You can get on Twitter and be Tariq Nasheed and call someone like Bunty King a sand nigger, for example, which he did, and that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. Look, this is the best internet that exists in West Virginia. So, fuck, guys. Anyway, I am paying for the highest end internet that exists here. I only have one option too. So, yeah. So you can be, if you're a black guy, you can do whatever the fuck you want. If you're a black guy, you want to call somebody a sand nigger, that's fine. Or hoppa, or whatever, like half-breed. That's all fine. You can do that kind of fucking shit. Just as long as, as long as you're the right race.
of it. Free speech comes with responsibility.
Oh no, everyone knows I live in West Virginia. I'm moving in 2 months though, so it's not gonna matter.
You can say what you want, absolutely. You won't get put in the prison for it, but it can have an effect, a wide-reaching effect. And when you're as big as PewDiePie, it can disrupt a lot of lives, whether you intend it to or not.
She's gonna disrupt a lot of lives? For fuck's sake. What is a word doing to disrupt your life? Don't start singing Country Roads, Take Me Home. That's such a good song. Country Roads is a great John Denver song, and I love this state. I'm very sad to leave it, actually.
And that's all I'll say on that. Like I said, this was off the cuff because this is last minute, but I couldn't do an episode where I'm bagging on YouTubers for a laugh and not bring this up because people will think I did that on purpose, even though it was a time issue.
Wow. See, he has to be sure to virtue signal just enough. Virtue signal just enough to kind of bring in Pewds in there over fucking nothing. Now you have to understand that what he did is this entire video up until this point was talking about these shitcocks who ran the CSGO lotto scam, who did get off. They got off on it legally. And then immediately just drops PewDiePie in here for dropping an M-bomb. I want to be real clear because I want to get off this. Some other shit from Jim Sterling. These are just, when I just went to his YouTube channel, because I've been watching him for years. I know I shouldn't do it, but I do. I mean, he hasn't monetized his shit, so actually, what am I losing? Or what is he gaining? Nothing. Look, he's made, these are just the 2 most recent videos about DMCAs that he's released.
Have been in a dispute.
Oh, sorry, let me turn these all down to like 140 to help the shitty internet quality. Shitternet.
Soundtrack creator is upset with the developer and believes that she owns the music and the sound effects to Stargazer. Now, according to contracts that have been shown, that's not true. She wrote the music for contract to give to the developer. They have the rights to the assets. That hasn't stopped Alex from going on a rampage, a DMCA abusing rampage. A number of videos featuring StarMazer have been taken down from YouTube. Sorry, StarMazer DSP. Ugh. In some cases, some channels have had 2 videos at once taken down, and YouTube...
Whatever. This was a whole issue with this thing where, I think it was a woman, actually. It might have been a guy, I don't remember. I think it was a woman, though. Oh.
YouTuber by the name of Sid Alpha, who is currently undergoing a DMC takedown strike, because those always work so well. The studio in question didn't like his coverage of their work, and I use the word work very loosely because they did practically none. Listing Greenlight page.
Since I thought, like, okay, this is my problem with the ultra latency.
And all of their submissions happen to be stock Unity asset flips. The Unit Z kind. They take the sample games and then just throw them up completely without editing. Class.
Whatever. My point I just brought up, these are just 2 recent videos of Jim's, where he really just goes through and talks about, like, how he's pissed off about false DMCA claims. And now here he is, like, he tries to pretend like he's not supporting the fact that even though he calls Pewds a liability, that he's not supporting this? Okay, let's talk a little bit about humor. I've referenced this study before. I think it's a really awesome study. I love this study, actually. I'm getting, like, excited just thinking about it. This is a really, really interesting piece of research. So this is McGraw, Williams, and Warren, 2014. Higher bitrate for quality, larger number you can end up with. Okay. You want to chat about it, Neeraj? Yeah, we'll talk. Okay. I've referenced this study before, though. I want to talk a little bit about the whole idea. Like, Jim Sterling's a hack fraud, or hack broad. I'm sure he probably considers himself to be trans or something. Yeah, somebody also hit me up on Twitter to explain to me how the fuck I should be setting this stuff up on YouTube, because I'm completely retarded. This is really interesting. I'm going to read a little bit of this study, and I'm going to talk more over what the findings of it were, because the findings are the really interesting bit. Let's read the abstract. We should always read the abstracts. Humor is a ubiquitous experience that facilitates coping, social coordination, and well-being. Do you fucking hear that, assholes? Humor is a ubiquitous experience that facilitates coping, social coordination, and well-being. Humor is so fucking important. This is just the goddamn abstract. Humor is really important for this shit. Particularly when you have, like, negative situations. We need humor. So things that are bad, like racism, if racism makes you upset and stuff like that, well, then you have to go... Then humor helps to alleviate it and to ameliorate it. For fuck's sake. We examine how humorous responses to a tragedy change over time by measuring reactions to jokes about Hurricane Sandy, inconsistent with the belief that the passage of time monotonically increases humor, but consistently with the benign violation theory of humor. This is a really cool theory of benign violation. Benign violation of humor is a pretty consistent theory, and I've talked about it in my left can't meme video. I don't know if I actually cited it directly, but the benign which should be Booth Butterfield? Who has the benign violation of humor citation? Who's the seminal? I think it's Booth Butterfield, but I could be wrong. Maybe McGraw. Shit, it's not Booth Butterfield? Fuck. Alright. I'm wrong. A longitudinal study reveals that humorous responses to Sandy's destruction rose, peaked, and eventually fell over the course of 100 days. Time creates a comedic sweet spot that occurs when psychological distance from a tragedy is large enough to buffer people from threat, creating a benign violation, but not so large that the event becomes a purely benign, non-threatening situation. This means, what they're saying right here, and we'll see in the data as we go into the actual research, is that things that aren't a violation of your expectations, like knock-knock jokes, are not funny because they're in no way violating any expectations we have. Humor has to violate an expectation. If it doesn't, then it's purely benign and then it's not funny. The finding can help psychologists understand how people cope, provide clues to understand what makes things funny, and when they will be funny. When will things be funny, and what makes things funny? Things that are in this sweet spot. Okay. I was talking about this really cool study that I really like. It's one of the first studies I've ever read in grad school. So we talk about the importance of humor and how it particularly deals with things that are difficult, things that are mentally disturbing or are my gerbil really likes to start gnawing at our cage for no reason, and that is very loud. Anyway, one thing that's very interesting about this, though, is that we talk about how humor has this incredible ability to assist in the perceptions that we have of tragedy, for example. So racism obviously isn't cool. Nobody likes it, I guess. Well, I mean, some people do. But yeah, you are all gerbils. You're all gerbils. Why this study is so neat. Look, oh my god, look at this this fucking... This information is so fascinating. So, in terms of this is a measure of perceived humor. So, as this crisis was going on, this is what they were analyzing this. So I'll zoom in a little bit here. They had this Hurricane Sandy Twitter account, right? And it was just spewing out shitty fucking tweets. Like, some of them were okay, some of them, like, all right, this one's funny. Oh shit, just destroyed a Starbucks. Now I'm a pumpkin spice hurricane. They just did this shit, and then they assessed people's analysis or their perception of how funny it was. And look at this, during the crisis and after crisis. So during the crisis, this is -1 days, right here at the beginning of the graph. This is -1 days since the hurricane hit, well, it says landfall, that's actually an incorrect. Hurricane Sandy never did make landfall. The eye never touched the land. Which, so actually, from a climate perspective, this media psychology paper made a fuck up. Hurricane Sandy never made landfall. They mean since it hit, but did not make landfall. Look, it was really, really funny the day before, and then it got less funny as, you know, time went on into about 8 days. And then look at this really interesting increase in the funniness of the tweets. They were perceived as way funnier about 30 days after the hurricane. So if we're going to look at this in the perspective of this is I just like the study, so I like to talk about it. Oh my god, this fucking, some of the data here is really interesting. But the thing that's so interesting about this is that the shit that is most funny are things that are slightly after an event. And now this is, 36 days after an event like a single hurricane versus something really major like slavery. When is that going to be funniest to make fun of? Yeah, it's like after the event has occurred. I think that this is an entire thing that's really interesting about this, is that after the fact, it is funny to mock things that are offensive, that are hurtful, for a number of reasons. I think for one, because it helps people to cope. It helps people to cope with the fact that it was fucked. The fact that yes, slavery existed in this country, and yes, there have been horrible instances of actual racism in this country, mostly committed by the Democrats. But, the fact that there have been terrible things that have happened in this country. Yeah, sorry that I was streaming during HB's stream. I'm sorry for that. I just wanted to get this out. I'm gonna be done pretty soon. This is indicative to me of why. And this isn't the only study. There's other studies. It's this whole coping theory, capacity of humor. It's the benign violation, that the things that are funny are things that are a little bit offensive. And in fact, we find that they're better at coping. So when people talk about, like, black people taking back the word nigger, it's like, yeah, because it's a coping mechanism. And also, it's funny to mock shit after a crisis. A crisis happened. And I would think that the bigger the crisis it is, the longer this very, very interesting trend of data would occur. I think the longer that goes on. So let's go into some other. I really like this study, guys. I've studied it before because it's just really interesting. Where did I want to talk about this one in particular? Oh, I actually had it up and then I moved away from it. Fuck. Okay, this was a study that I have here. This is Barnes, Palmary, and Durrheim, 2001. Also, the hurricane study, if I didn't say it already, was McGraw, Williams, and Warren, 2013. I think it was actually published in 2014, the actual date. Yeah. Oh no. It's 2013. So this was a whole study that was looking at intergroup interactions, where people were talking to one another, and, like, one person was black and another person was white, and there was this whole idea of that they were using humor. So part of it was waiting for permission. Like, after a certain point of time, people got to know each other well enough that they were willing to talk about race. And the way that they did it, usually, was through humor. This study has highlighted humor, personal experience, and self-censorship as prominent rhetorical devices that function to introduce race into the conversations and negotiate race talk while distancing the speaker from racist inferences and the presence of a potentially hostile audience. So the whole thing is that even when talking to people of another race, of the race that, you know, in this case, black people or African people, well, the way that you broach that is by making it a joke. When you don't joke about it, it's much more harsh. And look, I've said that words have any power that you give them, and that's exactly how I feel about the word nigger. And yeah, I'll say that. I've said it the whole time. And then called Jim a cuck for it, not being willing to say it. If you give that word magical power, well then the magical power it has over you is completely relegated to the power that you gave it, for fuck's sake. Ondorl, thank you for the super chat. Apology accepted. Shekels for you. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Freshinator 2, Ice Cube, that word is our 9/11. Yeah, I get them saying that. The nigger word. Yeah, thanks for sticking around, Edgy. Dead name you again. The whole idea is that, yeah, the way that people have a conversation about race is by making jokes of these things. And as Louis C.K. did, which is why I want to start out with that clip, is that when you relegate this to the realm of the obscure, of the hidden and the forbidden, well, it only makes it more potent, does it not? It's psychological reactance once again. When you say, you're not allowed to say this thing is wrong, but you will actually, at the same time, act like the word has all the fucking power in the world. Well, no shit. You end up in this kind of purgatory of not only not being able to communicate with people in a way that is honest and a way that would broker a conversation and communication between people of different races, as we have seen through Allport 1954 and through Pettigrew 1999 in the intergroup contact hypothesis. We will always see this, that when people talk, they get along better and they have less racial, prejudice towards one another on the basis of race. It doesn't mean that they're all going to get along and kumbaya shit, but it means that they're not going to inherently hate that person based on their race as much. That's how the contact hypothesis works, and intergroup contact hypothesis works. It's been studied for 60 fucking years. We know exactly how this works in terms of human psychology, and it's not difficult because humans are social species. Doesn't mean that we're all going to kumbaya. But humor is a really good way to broker this stuff. And again, particularly when you're talking about something that is that is potentially negative, such as a crisis or such as a bad thing in society like slavery, well, making it a joke, that is a benign factor, or a semi-benign factor of humor, the benign violation theory. Well, not complicated. I want to bring up this one last one, which is that essentially that's, you know, this is a much more typical sort of narrative. This guy, Rosin, he is a critical cultural scholar, so I have not read much of his work, but he basically is citing here that there is an emancipatory nature of racial humor. So when you say, for example, that you wonder, okay, why do black comedians say nigga all the time? Well, it's emancipatory. I think it goes further than that. I think it has to go back into this. I think it has to go back into this first study of understanding there was a shitty thing that happened, and if you mock it, it loses its power. And if the word nigger is not such a horrible thing, that is such anathema, that is such a vile and repugnant thing that has such power over people, well, then it would, if you just made fun of it, if you threw it off the cuff like that, then it would lose any ability that it would possibly have to offend. Words only have any power that you give to them, right? That's all I can say. I think that making a big deal out of this PewDiePie thing, and this is my entire point from the stream in general. This making a huge deal about PewDiePie accidentally dropping an M-bomb is you're giving more power to that word. You're saying it's more important than it really is. You know, I don't like this guy Rosin's research. It's critical cultural. I like the graph. See all these Really nice numbers. I like all of this. I like the numbers a lot. Don't like a lot of words with no numbers. Want the numbers. However, what this guy does talk about, and actually, yeah, let me read a little bit of this, yeah. Okay. Following the shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, The Daily Show with Jon Stewart exposed and critiqued dominant post-racial discourses through a series of comic incongruities that showed the validity of his prevailing logic in a report titled Race Off. Oh, I remember that. Stewart explains the story in Ferguson has a lot of people outraged and upset. Stewart and Albanese, you didn't have to cite anybody on that guy. Of course, he affirms, an unarmed black teenager. Alright. Gunned down in the street by police under suspicious circumstances, the case demands outrage, he suggests, with comic misdirection that amplifies and the subsequent reversals. Stewart highlights outrage against race-conscious reactions to the tragedy, such as analysts lamenting how the description of, quote, an unarmed black teenager shot by a white cop, regrettably, colors the way we look at the story. So this guy right here absolutely agrees with, well, first of all, he clearly thinks Michael Brown was an innocent. But he's saying that Stewart plays the comic fool and reacts incredulously to these protestations, thereby heightening their incongruity to the outrage he implicitly foregrounded. The rancor climaxes with a montage of post-racial proclamations from major news outlets. Yeah, even though this guy is, like, upset about it, he's still saying that, yeah, I know it's funny. Well, this was published... What's the year on this? This is Rosian 2000... Ooh, where's the date? 15. Oh, you had no... maybe. 2015, yeah. It wasn't 2016. I don't know when this was published. It might have been right after. Look, the whole idea is what I'm saying, is that... Or that I'm getting to, is that... I think that it can be emancipatory. I think that if you accept and you embrace words and you truly embrace them, not embrace them in the way that these fucking idiots are saying, with like, but black people say it, and then they cry when they hear a white guy say it. No, no, no. If you are taking this word back, look at, okay, now I don't want to say too much about Milo Yiannopoulos because I have issues with him as well, even though I've supported him in the past and I've defended him. If Milo wants to call himself a faggot, and is okay with everyone else calling it, but he needs to be okay with everyone else calling him a flaming fucking faggot. Because if you really want to take back the word faggot, what that means is that not that I mean, as a gay person am allowed to use this word, it means that I'm going to take it back by removing the stigma behind that word. Which means that if you call me a filthy, flaming, coal-burning, degenerate faggot, I'm not going to get upset about the fucking word because I've taken it back. It doesn't matter to me anymore. That's true emancipation. That's true emancipation of a word. Crazy Ace King, thank you for the super chat. Apologies I'm late. What did I miss? Bullshit. Anyway, guys, sorry for all the problems with the stream. I think these are the main things that I wanted to talk about. Is taking the word back does remove the stigma, but they're not allowing that to happen. They want to maintain both the stigma. Look, you can't have it both ways. You cannot take back a word and make it your own and maintain the stigma. It's one or the other. You can't have both. Like, you're either going to normalize the word and make it mean nothing, make it a joke, and make it funny, because if it's funny and it's a joke, then it means nothing. I'm trying to think of a good example of that. That has actually worked. Oh. Oh, okay. Here's one. Rednecks don't really call... Milo's technically an oil driller, not a coal burner. Rednecks embrace the term redneck. That's fine. Like, they embraced that. No, rednecks, that's a good one. Redneck and a lot of those kind of people, they have embraced that word. It doesn't... I don't think it offends them. Maybe some of them. So, if you really, really truly do say, I'm taking it back, and I'm not going to let it hurt me anymore, then what is it going to do to you? The word has no meaning. Words are, semantics are whatever we put into that. And particularly English, which is a fascinating language, is so mutable and prone to change. There is absolutely no reason Black Knight Fool, you would destroy me on a debate on this? On what? On semantics, on linguistics? Or on what? Or on that, we can't say the word nigger because, for some reason. Because there's something, it's... What do you have to think? You have to think words have more power than actions, which is an absurdity. Don't think so. Regarding the philosophy of language. Okay, be more specific. I'm about to close out, guys. If anybody else has any... thank you, Crazy Ace King, again for the super chat. Why put so much power into a word at all? I don't understand either. I don't understand. Anyway, guys, we've gone over some research. I don't... If anyone has any questions about some of the research or some of the data, you don't think black people use the word with a hard R? Oh, they absolutely do. This is what I'm talking... Okay, this is an interesting point. I think that many, many people... This is going to be... Actually, you know what? Hard Bastard agrees with me on this. I'm going to absolutely tell... I'm going to speak for him a little bit here, because we both grew up around a lot of black people. Okay? Because we grew up in cities where that was the norm, whereas white people... I mean, he's an Italian. No, wait. But we were the minority. Okay? Black people say that word with a hard R, and I think that the people who are getting so offended, people like this fucking tranny, who gets so mad. Brianna Wu has never interacted with a black person, probably. I mean, maybe a couple. I'm sure she's in... Oh god, I did it again! Fuck! I guarantee that he has interacted with black people, but he's never lived near black people. He's never really, really grown up. He didn't grow up with black people. He doesn't know what it's like to live around black people. And I will tell you this, growing up in inner city Baltimore, they absolutely use that word with the hard R and with the A. Doesn't matter. You can use the word if you're just saying the word with a heart, but you don't use a hard R as a term of endearment between black people. As a term of endearment, I don't think they... No, but they still... Hang on. You're right. No, you're correct. You're correct. Black people don't use that word as a term of endearment. They don't say hard R for a friend. They say A for a friend. But they will call each... Look, have you ever... Okay, you're a black man, Black Knight Fool. So you know this. You know, old black women absolutely fucking will call young black men, for example, hard R nigger. They will absolutely say that. They say that shit. They say that. I've seen them say that all the time. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm saying it's not... Yeah, I agree with you 100%. But they're allowed to get away with that, and it's fine. So you're saying that the... I think what I'm understanding you on this, if I'm getting it correctly, is that it was a fact that he used a hard R. That he used a hard R, and that's why it's wrong. I get that. I still think that if you want to take the term back, you can't put a I don't think you can just say, like, it's a little bit of a different pronunciation. You think it differentiates them from other humans? No, I think when a black person, in particular old black ladies, say that shit, it's not differentiating them from other humans. It's specifically saying you are fucked up in our community. There's something that you are letting our community down. I think that is the way that word works. My point, however, stands, which is that a word only has any power that you put into it. And if this makes you super upset, you can't talk about the number of times that word, and I've heard, and I listen to a decent amount, not as much probably as Hard Bastard does, but a decent amount of hip-hop. That word, both with the hard R and with the A, gets used in rap and act like, well, we took it back, but now you can't say it because of something? I don't get it. If you would like to actually have this conversation with me, it'd be very interesting. If you're not a supporter, hit me up on Twitter. You can have a conversation with me. Humane Mind, thank you for super chat. Aiden, you just became my new #1 nigger. Love your videos. Keep up the great work. Nigger is only offensive to stupid people. I don't think it's necessarily stupid people, but yeah, it's people who don't understand that words, again, only have the power that we put into them. And that's really what... And in fact, using offensive speech does help with coping with negative things. We know this. Yeah, Richard Pryor, R.I.P. in peace, where you need it. And George Carlin, as much of a lefty cuck as he was, he, you know, they actually, I agree that nigga and nigger had different meanings, but I went over that, about how one is a term of endearment and one is an insult. But what was, Pewds was doing an insult there, so, you know, he wasn't like calling somebody his nigga. And I mean, I've done that, and I'll tell you this shit too. When I was in high school, all my fucking friends were black. It doesn't make sense. If somebody calls you a Nazi, it doesn't matter if you're offended or not, you're going to be received negatively. Yeah, but that's not how this word is working. Like, if an old black lady on the street sees you fucking around and she calls you a nigger with a hard R, that's not gonna have any, like, long-term social repercussions, like if somebody called you a Nazi on Twitter. Because someone calls you a Nazi on Twitter, well, that could get you fired from your job. Yeah? Now I've lost my train of thought. This video will probably be up at tomorrow, guys. I guarantee it will not be monetized. I have said the word that has absolutely wrecked Pewds too many times for this to stay up. But might as well finish up the hour. We got 10 minutes before I'm going to go to sleep, or at least lay down. Anybody else on the chat have anybody other questions or things that they want to ask about the PewDiePie thing that we can go over that was not already brought up? I think this is interesting. Black Knight Fool, thank you for being in the chat and questioning me about this, because I think we could have an interesting conversation about it. Because I do think it is maybe more complex than I have portrayed it. Is that because I did not break down that there is a difference between the A and the hard R. There is a difference. There's a difference in how it's used. There's a difference in what it means. All kinds of shit. I would say, oh yeah, I was gonna say this though. Yeah, when I was in high school though, all of my friends were black. All of my girlfriends were black. And, you know, nobody had an issue with me saying nigga. I mean, I was J-Rock, I guess, which is really sad to be, but nobody gave a shit. Am I gonna do a video on race realism? Not in the way anyone would understand. I think I already have. In my perception, I already have done race realism videos, but it's because I've been honest about averages in a normal curve. I don't have an issue with that. There's no way I'm ever going to do anything other than that. I just like, I mean, like, you know, Ape and I were at some point trying to talk about doing a video on race and IQ, and it was before this whole thing with Kraut blew up. Let's see. Shadow Scoundrel, do we agree we're all niggers because of evolution in Africa? Actually, look into that. They recently found that the oldest known Homo sapiens came from Europe. However, no, I mean, that term, again, it only fucking matters. It only means whatever you put into it. But in terms of phenotypes of different people of different races being different, although it does mean that there are things that are different across what we call, what are the large haplogroups of the human race, and there are differences across them. No, it doesn't have anything to do with being from Africa. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. Fucking A. Anyone else? I'm gonna stay up here for 8 more minutes and hand out the hour. Do I watch Sam Hyde? Oh, I love Sam Hyde. Although, I have to ask, as a mass murderer, how does he keep getting away with it? Wasn't this power of words the Lacau-Moff scheme in part for neo-Marxist take of the hegemony, just as using minority groups? Yeah, absolutely, because they have to use the power of words because they can't point to anything concrete or physical. Now, yeah, what word would you rather me use? Like, if I'm talking about a conglomerate of African-based haplogroups, the traditional anthropologic term would be Negroid. Is that racist? As would the clustering of many Asian haplogroups as Mongoloid. So, Sam's on the East Coast? I figured him for a West Coast guy. I didn't know that. Nerd has been a word that has been successfully reclaimed. Thank you, Wayward Alone. You're completely correct. I talked a little bit, and you guys are never, ever, 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 ever hearing any of my rap. But, yeah, I used to be involved in nerdcore hip-hop, and in the mid-2000s, it was a huge deal. We were all on rhyme torrents, putting our shit up, and just being a super positive group of people who were putting out terrible fucking rap about, I don't know, anything really kind of nerdy. Because the whole idea was to take back nerd. Was to be like, oh, we're proud of being nerds. In fact, we have a whole community, and we can rap, and we can do all this other stuff. Yeah, you're never... Yeah, MC Chris was a big guy in that. I did release my album, actually. I released it in 2007. But, thank God, Rhyme Torrents went down, and nobody saved it. Thank you, Internet! Nobody... if you can find it, it's called Jankum Jams with Jesus, but you're never gonna find it, because I trust me, I've double-checked. You can't find it. Yeah, MC Chris was a big guy. PewDiePie said nigger in a way such as though his opponent wasn't much better than him. No, it's just like a fucking, it's like you're just mad and the word just comes out of your mouth. It's a sort of heuristic. You're like, fuck, you know? Look, this happens to me all the time. Not the nigger thing, but like, no, Brady, run! Don't, you will never find it. Go ahead and fucking try. You will never find it. Nobody has a copy of it. I've really checked. Nobody has it. And it will not... Oh, actually, you know why I know no one will ever find it? Because it's under this name. It's under Aiden Paladin. So no one... Because that's how long I've been using this name. No one will ever find it. Jankum Jams with Jesus. You will never, ever, ever find any of the tracks on it. There was a song about TF2. There was a song about Daredevil. There was a song about Hawkeye. And there was a song about Magic the Gathering. You'll never find it. You will never find it. Yeah. I said 2006 is probably... When did TF2 come out? Yeah, 2006. 2007. Go ahead. Try it. Try it, Edgy. Fucking... Go ahead. Be my guest. Oh no. No, if anyone finds it, it'll be the most embarrassing thing. I have tried. I've checked several places to see that nobody can find it. Rhyme Torrents went down like 2015 and everything on it was just completely destroyed by the internet. What does Altana Volt mean? Altana is the goddess of light and paladins and justice and shit in Final Fantasy XI, and Volt means will of. So it's for the will of Altana. What's the proportion of Mega Monster? What's the proportion of internet who is standing up with PewDiePie versus against him? I don't know. It's a little bit hard to find or to determine because the most loud sources are always going to come out against him. Like someone like Jim Sterling, and I was actually a little bit surprised because Jim Sterling has said so much shit against DMCAs. How can you come out again and again and again against DMCAs about false DMCAs and then just be like, yeah, I'm okay with it as long as it's Pewds. Hey Mitch, what's up? Thanks for the £2. Sean Vonneman is a hack broad. Also, hey Aiden. Yeah, hey, what's up, Mitch? What fucking time? Isn't it like 4 in the morning there? 3? Go to sleep. Wait, someone asked me if traps are gay. I've given my... Well, nearly 5. You're about to wake up then. Traps aren't gay. I've provided research on it. Traps aren't gay. I mean, I don't know. Like, the research is on whether or not you find a trap gay. Or whether or not you find them attractive. The question is it gay to have sex with a trap? In which case I have to, as always, consult conventional internet logic, which is that it's only gay if the balls touch. Sleep is for the weak and women, Mitch. Thanks. So, are your balls touching? If not, you're just two guys having a fun time. Well, you're a guy and a lady man. Yeah, the vocal minority is gonna win on terms of Pews. However, like, if you look at his fucking videos that he put up today, I mean, they've still got the video he re-uploaded has a very, very positive reaction. So I'm gonna say his fans don't give a shit, and I don't give a shit. So, you know, they're never going to mind unless he does something really fucked up. I'm gonna go in 2 minutes, guys. So, any other questions anybody has for the end of the stream? If your balls touch, you are gay. Yes. You need to have a vice kind of thing that makes sure to separate them. Sorry. Is there any long-term damage from that? I don't know. Are traps niggers? I mean, they can be. It all depends. What, two cocks touching? That's completely heterosexual. Sometimes, I mean, you're just out there with your friend, your bros, like, you know, and you're having a piss, and, you know, you cross the streams, your dicks touch a little bit. Whatever. It's totally normal. If the penises kiss, that's pretty much the most heterosexual thing that's ever happened. It's just, that's a very touching moment. It's only gay if the balls touch. It's it. I love having people from Jim's audience come in and call me a hole. It's really funny. I would actually like to get that going. That'd be good. Oh, no, we could make that a meme. That'd be funny. I would embrace that. That other bitch that was on that stream, she's not gonna embrace that whole meme. Yeah, I'll embrace it. Zero the Heartless King. Thank you, Morgana. Aren't you tired? Let's call it a day and get some sleep. Yeah, it's tired. It's 12 o'clock here, so. Anyway, okay, we've moved into shitposting, which means that, yeah, we're about done. Alright, guys. When it moves into trap talk, we gotta go. Anyway, thank you guys all for joining me. Sorry that the stream's been fucked. I will, if anybody knows shit about how to make maybe my internet less crap, again, I'm gonna be moving in the next couple months. Yeah, next 2 months, probably. But, this is the best, and this is not bad internet, so yeah, like, I don't know what to do, but if anyone has any, apparently I fucked up, by putting it on ultra low latency, which I thought would have made it better, but I think it made it worse. So, okay, anyway, guys, tomorrow, probably, I'm going to be recording the next video, on the Hysteria, series, and then don't use ultra low latency. I thought that would have been better, so that was my bad. And yeah, so I don't know if we'll have another stream between then and now, but yeah. Love you guys, and Altana Volts. Bye-bye.